I killed everything, got to my knee, shield was perfect for the scene, right? I'm gonna get it to my frames, right? I start pushing, I make my space, he doesn't like it, so he starts driving into me, right? Boom, you notice how his hips start raising, okay? If this pull here isn't working, coming underneath is another perfectly reasonable way to take that arm out, okay? If I'm going at his elbow, but he's keeping his elbow too bent, I don't care about moving his elbow necessarily, I just wanna make sure he doesn't have a post, so I might even come down to the wrist, okay? Exactly like I tell you not to in a gi, right? Drop that foot off, then I kick. As I come up here, I want this arm up, okay? And I'm just gonna drop my head behind it. Slide my hips back. That hand that's behind his head goes palm down, right? Now my shoulder's right below his neck, okay? Drop my hand back, palm to palm, roll my wrist. I wanna make sure his jaw isn't pointed away from me. So I might have to dig down in there a little bit, keeping his arm trapped with my head, getting my bicep on his carotid on the other side, right? I don't need to lock and start squeezing until I have my body in the right place. So if I'm up here where my shoulder's on his face, not gonna work. If I'm down here where my ear's behind his shoulder, not gonna work. I wanna be right in the middle. My shoulder's below his chin, but my ear's above his shoulder. Bringing my hands together, palm to palm, gable grip, no thumbs, right? Elbows tight to his body. I'm gonna roll that wrist of the arm that's under his head, squeeze my ear to his ear, and flex everything. All right? Boom, tight, roll, look and trying to get my ear to his ear, forehead on the ground, then I flex. This elbow must stay on the ground. The urge to add pressure here is gonna be to drive, you see? But that puts my elbow over his carotid on that side, right? So I have to keep that elbow on the ground. I wanna drive into him, trying to push him into that groove. Forehead's down, ear to ear, everything's tight, then I flex. Cool? Questions? Right? Now he might pull his elbow back down. That's fine. Do it again. Go ahead, do it again. How many pull-ups do you think you can do? More of my arm that's on the ground, the more friction that's created. If I'm just walking with my hand up here, it's his lat versus my hand. Now it's his lat versus my whole arm. Okay? I just keep walking it until I can grab it with this hand. Now I drop my ear. Okay? I might have to push it in a little bit. Okay? And if he knows where I'm going, he might keep that arm next to his head here. I want to prevent this, the answering the phone. This is what I don't want to have to deal with. So I want to get it as tight as I can. I might even have to fight that hand off. Right? And I get everything in place, and now it's just a waiting game. Now I'm just waiting for him to do something dumb that gets his elbow down below his chin. Right? Yep, a bridge and over, perfect. Right? Anything that gets his elbow to drop at all, head to head, squeeze.
You want his elbow towards his eyes?
I want his elbow across his neck.
Oh, across.
Right? Because my bicep cuts off one side, his shoulder is cutting off the other side.
Gotcha.
If he's here, especially with you big fuckers, right, there's too much space in here for me to cut it off. Right? Now I have to collapse his shoulder into his neck instead of just the muscle into his neck.
Yeah.
Right? Cool? Not saying it's not possible. Right? It's just a lot more work than you really want to have to do. Questions? Give it a shot.